What's going on YouTube? Welcome to episode 145 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zerly and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And also be sure to check out the Discord. I'll have a link in the description below. Right now I'm doing a poll on what my next ship build is going to be. So if you'd like to participate in that, be sure to check out the Discord and click on next ship builds, and this way you can vote on that. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into today's episode. We've got about a 21-minute episode, so kick back, relax, and let's get right into it. We're going to be picking up right where we left off, so I've continued exactly what I said what we were going to do in between episodes, that we're going to be deleting that row in between the single block on the roof. So now we've cleared that out. So now we can start playing a little bit more with the space that we have to work with, and not necessarily redesigning our extended shuttle bay control areas, but we'll be kind of reworking them just a little bit based off the space that we have to work with. So you can see that we can only go so far back. If we do, then we're right into the outside. So I think the easiest thing to do here is that you can go up and look, and we can see, because our ceiling right now is half slabs, this was the old exterior of the hull. So what we're going to be doing is this again, going with a cut line, and we're going to be deleting this next layer in the roof. But again, you want to make sure that you're not cutting into the outside of the ship. If you do, then you need to put that block back. Again, I just want to make sure what we have on both sides match. And you can kind of see the wall here that we can go up to. Anything past this, we can't get rid of that. I probably should have edited this out, but I'm doing it slowly because there are other things that I was doing in the episode. So I want to make sure that I'm not skipping over any of that, but we're not going to delete all this out live. But again, we just want to make sure that we're not deleting off of this next row up. Very important. Now, some of this access here that's from the old hull, like the old escape pods and whatnot, we can get rid of those. We're not going to be using them. And don't worry about the pattern in the ceiling. We'll address that. Really, our main focus at this point is deleting that next layer. Okay. So I've skipped over to where I've finished that finally, only after 6 minutes of the recording. Sorry about that. Usually I'm pretty good about not including just the miscellaneous stuff like that. So let's continue on. And now, since we've got our next row taken out in the ceiling, we've got just a little bit more room. You can see that block there. We can't delete that. That has to stay there because that's a detail on the outside of the ship. So this is where it's going to become somewhat tricky, because we're going to be doing two things. We're not only reworking this, but we're also going to make it to where you can have somebody walk inside of it. Which you're probably thinking, how are you going to achieve that with it being so close on the hull line? We'll get there, trust me. It's not going to be super large on the interior point in this area walking through it, but you will be able to walk through it, which will be pretty cool. And the easiest way to tackle this is just to do it the same way that we've done pretty much every area on the interior of the ship so far. Just do it in very subtle bursts and take your time. Do it one bit at a time. See what it needs. See what needs to be added. See what needs to be taken away, and make those changes accordingly. I was thinking that this bottom line here, the gray that I was adding, would work for the outer wall um, of the shuttle bay control room, but it's not. We're going to have to add a couple of layers to it, but it'll be a good base to at least start off of. Again, going back, double checking my work, making sure what I have on one side matches up the other. There's no shame in it. It's perfectly fine. If you need to go back and double check, as you can see, I do this all the time. Especially with something like this where it's basically imperative that both sides match. Definitely want to go back and double check that. You can see in the roof we can't delete that top row, so that tells me that we're going to have to either go down one or go out one. We're also going to make a cut on each side here because we need to make a way to get up into this area. Told you guys we'd be revisiting that, and I'm a man of my word with that, so we are definitely going to be doing that. And it will be very cool. This whole area will be very functioning. You'll be able to walk through it. You'll be able to take a turbo lift up into both areas when this is done. But that top white concrete line, we can't delete that. We need that there. Now what we could maybe do, that top white quartz line there, we could potentially swap that out with a half slab. That might work. That would give us just a little bit more headroom above us, but still seal up the outside. Another thing too, I can tell you that once we are done with this portion, this area will be done with the shuttle bay control room. The only other time that we'll be coming back to it, we'll actually just have one more time, and that will be when we actually add the shuttle bay door, and then this room will be officially done completely, which would be great because that'll just be another area that we can check off, and that'll be actually coming fairly soon. So I've decided to do is I've moved my gray line. I'm just moving it up one. And I'm going with the cut line. Because we can't really delete what's behind it. Alright, so now we did that on one side. We need to make sure that we do the same thing on the other sides. There was one side there, we'll circle back to it, that there's an extra block lingering there. We'll have to correct that. And then the back portion, we'll have to address this as well. what we'll ultimately end up doing is having this gray block going all the way back. So basically, the back side of our two control rooms will actually meet in the back. We'll just have that going straight across by the time it's done anyway. See why I'm adding those extra rows there in the very middle, just to go with the cut line, just to make it match up. I'm not sure if this row of the half slabs I'm adding in is necessarily going to work, because I think we're actually going to have to move the row of half slabs that we're adding in right now. I think we're ultimately going to have to move it down by one. Because right now, where we currently stand, we don't have enough room to where we can walk around inside this thing. We need at least 2 blocks high to where we can move around. And that's just at the bare minimum. In a perfect world, we want 3 blocks, but we're probably not going to get 3 blocks out of the space that we have to work with for this. We'll have just enough room to where we can maneuver around it. And to be perfectly honest with you, my goal with this was not necessarily to make it to where you can walk around through these areas, which we will be able to. It was mostly just to have it there for show, to where it was basically something to look at as you come into this room, where you could walk up into it if you want to, but really the star of it is just being able to see it down from the floor as opposed to walking up through it. Because this is the other thing too, like the primary shuttle bay on the Enterprise D is massive. It's because you have to remember too that my Enterprise D is half the size of a full-scale Galaxy class. So my shuttle bay is probably half the size of what it's supposed to be. And that gives you a really good sense of the scale of this thing, because it really is as big as what I have. It's not as big as what it should be. But again, if I would have tried to have made a full-scale Galaxy class, we would have been here all day. Now, I'm glad I just hit this mistake right here, because what happened is that my top pattern isn't matching the bottom pattern, and I want to make sure that both sides match. I'm going to have a mistake right there. I need to go right back to that, because that's going to give me some errors. I didn't mean to go back that far. Oh, shoot. I went back way too far. It's right in here. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. No, I wanted to go back and show this again, because there's a single block that's sticking out, and we're going to have to fix that, because it's going to prevent the left side and the right side from matching up. It's not this row, it's not this row, it's right here. This block right here, this white concrete, we need to get rid of that. Just that one block, because that's going to mess this whole thing up. And the easiest thing to do in this situation is that we basically need to pick a side that we want to use as our primary reference, whether it's the left side or the right side. So what I'm more than likely going to be, what I will actually do here is I'll use the right side as a reference. So we'll need to mirror that on this side and make sure that this side reflects the right side. But that one extra miscellaneous block right there is messing me up. I don't even realize it. This is how easy it is to make a mistake on Minecraft, where you can just totally overlook something, even if you're paying attention. It's not a big deal, but this is why we go back and double check our work, to try to help ourselves, to try to prevent ourselves from making these mistakes. So now our shuttle bay control rooms, the primary ones, are starting to take a little bit more shape. What we're basically going to need to do to try to maximize as much space as we can, but without taking up more space, this is more or less going to be our template. And I made a mistake right there too. We'll have to fix that. Because if we add in one row of half slabs directly underneath it, we'll have just enough room to where we can walk around inside. And what's cool is that this actually makes it look a lot bigger in the area. It makes it look a lot more grandiose, and it'll look even better once we have our windows in place. When we put the consoles up and just clean it up a little bit more, it'll look really cool. This is one of the things I say, that sometimes you have to have something to work with. You got to put something down to see what else you need to do. And I knew that I wanted to do more with this room, but I just wasn't exactly sure as how I was going to do it. I was like, okay, let's put it on the back burner for right now, and we'll revisit it at a later point. See all this here, we have to be very careful in deleting it so we don't hit the outside. But we need to clear away enough to where we can walk around it, and also needs to match on both sides. You have to have a vision for what you want, basically. Because I can picture in my mind how this is going to go, which is ultimately what's kind of guiding me along the way here, to where it looks like I already know exactly what I want to do, which I kind of do. I have a general idea because I can envision it, but it's just a matter of getting to that point to really to flesh it out. And now, just to see how it looks, we're going to add in some windows. To really see if it's going to give us that effect that we want. This is never a bad idea to do a test real quick to see if this is indeed what you're envisioning in your mind, I still can't believe I haven't caught that mistake. I will, though. We'll have to make a change. We also have to make a change on this side too, because the top side doesn't match the bottom, so we'll have to fix that. And then this back wall here, we'll have to figure this out because I don't think we'll have the windows going all the way back here. I think we just might have it filled in with gray, maybe in the back. Because I don't think we're going to have enough room to make the walkways come all the way back here anyway. Yes, that doesn't look too bad. That looks pretty good. It needs a little bit more fine-tuning, but it's making it a lot more grandiose than it was before, which is exactly what I wanted. So that's looking pretty good. We shot by 21 minutes today. Didn't feel like it. Yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up today. We've got through a little bit of work, but we'll have more to do on this before we'll be done with it. And still more things to do on the Enterprise D. But I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. New subscribers, don't forget to hit notifications on so you get notified when new videos drop. And speaking of new videos, you can always catch my new Minecraft episodes dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. You can also catch my reviews right now of Star Trek Strange New Worlds dropping on Wednesdays. If you have any questions regarding today's episodes or comments, or just dropping by to say, hey, be sure to drop a comment below or in Discord. Definitely love hearing from everybody. And yeah, I think that's going to do it. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you build in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section.